I'm Patrick Bailey with iQless.com. Today is April 18th, 2020, and in this video I'll be showing you an ear saver I designed in OpenSCAD that's designed to be printed upright. Okay, so what's going on with all this? So right now, a lot of people are wearing face masks like here, depicted in this picture I found on Google real quick. And one of the problems is they're designed to go behind the ears, and that's usually not a problem, but if you're wearing them 12, 15 hours a day, every single day, they're starting to wear on your ears. So I don't have one of these, so I don't experience these. I have a different kind of face mask, but apparently, you know, the doctors and nurses out there are having a rough time, and it's kind of hurting their ears. So some people have designed some little ear protectors, some ear savers. There's one right here in this picture. Yeah, here's one we've been printing for Make for COVID recently. I don't know whose design this is, but it's kind of nice, a little flexible, works really well. But then someone came to me and said, hey, since I've been printing stacks of headbands, like, can we stack these so we can print more overnight? Because these print fairly fast, but you can only get, like the one I'm using, I can get about 8 on my bed, and that's not enough to go print overnight. But looking at the designs that are out there, I'm like, I don't see a way to stack it. So I came up with an idea. I said, what happens if we have another design that is designed to print on its side upright, and then we can squish a bunch together and print overnight? So with that idea, here is my idea. It's over there on Prusa printers. You can go there and download it. I have STL files. I have 3MF files with PLA and PETG. So you can go download that and do that. Also, this is all done in OpenSCAD, which I'll go over here in a second. And the OpenSCAD code is here. You can download it from Prusa. But it's also here at this link right here, which I'll put in the show notes, out as a gist on GitHub. And so here is the idea. The idea is to print upright. So let me open this up. So you can see what I do here is we don't necessarily want to print in, we're going to be able to print in PLA or PETG. I've come to find out that PET is a lot more flexible. So rather than print these straight, I print them on a curve. So if you happen to print in PLA, that you're okay. But I think even printing in PLA, you're so thin, if you went straight, you're okay. But I decided to curve these anyway. And so what they are is they can print upright, but also they have a little bit of a support here on the side and a gap here to hook in. Probably should show a live one, like that. So they can hook in there right now. Now, I haven't handed any of these to any nurses yet, so I don't know how well they're going to feel. I wore one around for a day, and I think it's going to be okay. But also the idea here is you see this little gray here, that angles in at 45 degrees, and this angles out at 45 degrees to allow it to print upright. Also on the side here, it's a 45 degree. In fact, let me get down to just one there. And there you go. So you have this little nub on the end to hopefully help on that end too. Now, this is all done in OpenSCAD, so I did it so you can change it. I think typically, based on how long this is, that 170 will work. But if you have someone with a bigger head or a smaller head, you can come in here and say, you know what, 170 is not good enough. I'll make it 250. And boom, you can automatically change it. So you can accommodate some different size head. Or maybe you need some small ones for kids. I don't know. But 170 I think is probably good for most of us. But hey, you know, it's kind of nice to accommodate the big guy or the small kids and make some for them too. And then also in here, you can change, I don't think you need to, but if you want to change the radius of the arc, you could have this, make it a 180, and you'll see you'll get a, didn't like that one. Oh, yeah. About 100, go the other way. So I found a problem in my code. So you can make that a little more narrower, but I think what I have is fine at the 150, but you can change it. Also these gaps, there's all kinds of, you can change the thickness. 1.0 is working for me, but if you want them thicker, you could make the whole thing thicker if you wanted to, and it should work. Well, maybe there's some more bugs. Anyway, I think those are fine and probably don't need to be edited. But you can change the buckle height, you could do that. There's a few little odds and ends you could change on here, but probably overall, you're probably okay. But one other thing you can do is you can come down here to the bed, show the bed, you can change that to true. And what that'll do, it'll put a faux two-dimensional bed on the bottom. Here I have it set to Prusa size, but here's a Prusa Mini 170 by 170. And you can kind of throw that on there real quick so that you can make more. So you can drop down here and put a 10, and what it'll do, it'll kind of space them all out. That way you can create the STL file and not have to fiddle with it in your slicer. So you can make 10 in a row, or what I have done, I've got like a 45. You can do 45 in a row. And then if you're unfamiliar with OpenSCAD, the next thing you got to do is you hit this button to render it, which I won't do right now because it takes some time. And then once you render it, you hit this STL button to save it as an STL. So that's the idea. There's some parameters there you can tweak. And I think it's going to work. I need to get out in the field to test so people can use it. But it's pretty simple, so I don't think there'll be much of an issue. But with that, let me go over a couple more things. Here in the slicer, here I'll drag in a 25. What a 25. There we go. I'll drag in a 25 STL file. So there's 25 in a row. Now, if you're going to slice this, you might have some problems on the bottom layer. So what I would suggest in Prusa Slicer to do, either use the 3MF files I have that have special settings, or do this. Right click on here, add a modifier, make a box modifier. Then go to this box, disconnect the size there, and then say, I don't know, 200 by 170s by 0.5. And then and then grab just this and position it so that it covers all of that like that. And then go over here and hit this so it's at the bottom, so it's the very first two layers. And then click on this and say add a setting, speed. And then just choose everything. Hit OK. And then just change them all to 10. Which means it's going to go really slow for the first two layers. But as you'll see, if you look in the time-lapse video, there's a lot of little tiny things going on there. So it's probably a better idea to go slow. I had to slow down my i3 Mark III, and I had to really slow down my Prusa Mini. But once I slowed it down on those first two layers, I was pretty good. Another thing you have to do is the first layer, I guess, is special. So doing what I just did with that modifier, it'll still ignore it. So you can go here to Print Settings, go to Speed, go to First Layer, and I'm already in a custom setting, but change that to 10. Change it to 10, slice it, and that way your first two layers will go slow, and you're probably going to be pretty good after that, because those are hard. The only thing I would add to that is use glue stick the crud out of it. I put a bunch of glue stick on there, and it came out just fine, as you'll see in some of the videos I'll throw up here. But with that, let's go over the numbers. I have a couple of recordings I did. One of a 4 by print. I did 4. So the numbers on that, it took 1 hour and 56 minutes to print 4. It took 2.4 cents for electricity, and it weighs 0.022 kilograms, and at $20 per kilogram comes up to 44 cents. So the total cost to print 4 was 47 cents, which comes out to about 12 cents per headband, per ear saver. Now I also went and printed 45 because it's kind of cool to max them out on the bed. And that's kind of the whole idea. Max out on the bed so I don't have to interact with my printer much. So to do 45, it took 21 hours and 46 minutes. It took 20.5 cents for electricity, and it weighs 0.252 kilograms, and at $20 per kilogram comes out to $5.04 for the filament. So the total cost on that was $5.25, which comes out to about 12 cents per ear saver. So overall, not too bad. And I had a high level of success, especially when I slowed down these first two layers. So there it is. Download it, try it. Give me your feedback if you think it's a bad design. Like, to me, it feels like it might be a little sharp on the edges, but I wore this for a day, and I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I'd like to get some doctors and nurses' opinions out in the field, which I've got some going out here soon, so hopefully I'll get some feedback locally, but if you're using them, post a message, because we can always tweak the OpenSCAD possibly. But anyway, there's my code. There it is. Use it, tweak it, make big headbands, make small headbands. Keep using the word headband. Ear savers. There it is. So get out there and print some and help the doctors and nurses and save their poor ears.